So distance is the measurement the measurement between two endpoints Okay, now when we measure distance, we're not telling our reader which way we're going. We're not doing a direction with it. So because there's no direction with it, we're just telling them like how many steps to take. It's not if I take 5 steps backwards, take 5 steps forward, take 5 steps right, take 5 steps left. It's really just take 5 steps. Okay, so because we're not adding that direction with it, it's always positive. Okay, it's always a positive number. So if your answer is a negative number, we're going to use what's called the absolute value. It's not super fancy. All that says is if it's a negative number, what's the absolute value of a negative number? Positive. So if your calculator tells you the answer is negative 15, what's actually your answer? 15. Okay, it's just always positive. All right, today we're going to do it on 2 things. We're going to do first on a number line, and then we're going to do it on a coordinate plane or a graph. Put it away. You did put it away. That's not true. It's still in your hand. Oh. All right, on a number line, the way that we find distance is by subtracting, which many of you did in the floor situation with the mom and the dad working in the same building on different floors. Okay, or if you want to do it like I did it, we count jumps. How many jumps is it from one to the next? Okay. So I counted from the 9th to the 10th floor is 1, and then I knew the jump from 10th to 27 was 17. So altogether it was 18. All right, we're going to make a number line here. So when I make my number line, I like to use the line in the notebook as a straight line. And then we're going to count from -4 up to 7, and we're counting by ones. So I'm going to start with -4 here, and we need to go up to +7. So that's going to be about 12 tick marks. So if you like to do your tick marks first, you can make 12 tick marks. Okay, or you can label as you go. Try and make your tick marks about as evenly spaced as you can. We don't want one to look like it's a bigger distance than the other. It's all counting by ones, so they're the same distance. We're going up to 7. If you go up past 7, that's fine. Mine's a little wonky. I got these closer together, these ones farther apart. But I do know that because I'm counting and I have them labeled, they're all counting by ones. All those distances are supposed to be the same, whether or not I actually got them to be the same. We're going to put A on -4. So we're going to put a point here at -4 on that line and put an A there. We're going to put B on -1. Okay, put C on 2. D on 4. And E on 7. Okay, so we have 5 points, A, B, C, D, E. A is on -4. B on -1, C on 2, D on 4, and E on 7. All right, we're going to do 3 quick examples with this first one. The first one we're going to do is find the distance between A, C. I know I'm finding distance because it's giving me a starting point and an ending point. It gives me the 2 endpoints. And there's no line above it. So when it says AC equals, I want the distance from A to C. Now, it's interesting because a lot of you in the warm-up did subtraction, but already I'm seeing a lot of you doing this. Okay, when it's right out in front of us, it's easy just to count. So as I count my jumps, I don't start at 1, I count after my first jump. So as I go from A to C, I'm going to count, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, and we don't know what we're counting by, if these are in feet, inches, anything like that, so we say 6 units. Okay, so we can just count with jumps. Another way we could have done it is by subtracting. So what is A at? -4 minus what's C at? 2. So this is A, this is C. In your practice today, there's going to be a calculator button. The calculator button is just going to bring up Desmos. You can also just use Desmos on your phone, or on your, not on your phone, on your computer. I'm going to use it on my phone because I don't like to split screen. So -4 minus 2. With negatives, sometimes that's hard to do in our heads. That ends up being -6 because I'm starting at -4 and I go backwards 2 more. But even though it was -6, our answer is still +6. Distance is always positive. How many jumps? I'm going to put away your phone. All right, one more. Just kidding. We have a couple more. DB. So we're going to show both ways to do DB. Okay, one way would be to count. So counting from D to B. Does it matter if I start at D or start at B? No, distance is going to be the same either way. So if you like to count from left to right, you can start at B and go to D. If you like to do it this way because you're like it's written at D and going to B and you want to count backwards, that's fine. And you count those jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we label it 5 units. In your practice today, you're not going to put in that word units. I don't remember if I put the word units in there. You're just going to put the number. There's enough space for you to write the word units, but don't do it. It'll count it wrong. Okay, the other way we could have done it is by subtracting. What would I subtract to find DB? 4 minus -1. With those negatives, we have to be really careful. Okay, D is at 4. B is at -1. If we want to put in those parentheses to help us remind ourselves that this minus and this negative are different. They're separate. It's not just supposed to be 1 and I accidentally got a glitch in the middle of it. Okay, when I do minus a negative, what is minus a negative the same as? Adding a positive. So when I do 4 minus -1, it's really 4 plus 1. And our answer is 5. Now, if you put it in your calculator the other way, so if I start with -1 minus 4, should it matter which way I do it? No, I get -5, but remember our answer should always be positive. Okay, so if you get a negative in your calculator, just make it positive. All right, last part for this one here, we're going to say is, whoa, making that S really big. We're going to say is AB, segment AB. So now I'm actually going to name it. You can't see what I'm doing. Magic. Okay, is segment AB. So we're going to put that line above it. Congruent. So congruent, we do this little squiggle with an equal sign underneath it. Because what does it mean if two things are congruent? They're the same or they are equal. So AB is congruent to segment DE. Are you sure? Okay, so to do this, we need to find our distances. In order for two things to be congruent, we need to find those distances. When we find distances, we just say AB, and we just say DE. So take a moment, find your distances for AB and DE. Do it whichever way makes the most sense to you, if you're going to count your jumps or if you're going to subtract. All right, Nadira, what'd you get for AB? 3? No, 3 was right. Yeah, 3. Okay, 3. Emmett, what'd you get for DE? D to E? I think you did CE. D. One more time. You got it. Try it one more time. 3. Yeah, we just don't count that first one. The first time you did CE. That's okay. DE. 3. So are these congruent? Okay, and since it's an is question, is AB segment AB congruent to DE? What's our answer going to be? Yes. It's a yes or no question. All right, we have one more part to this today. We're going to talk about the coordinate plane. Okay, the coordinate plane. Co means what again? Together. So we have two coordinates on a plane, aka we have two variables on a graph. So when we plot a point on a graph, we have to use two parts. It's coordinate, so 2 parts. What 2 parts are on a graph? What part comes first? X and then Y. Okay, and today we're going to have a segment. So we have we have 2 endpoints. So we have XY and another XY. But we need to let our readers know which one is which. I didn't do a very good job here. Whoops. That's okay. Okay, so our readers need to know which one is which one. Which X goes with which Y, because we can't flip-flop them. So what we do is we use a subscript. So you might hear some teachers call them subs. So we do X1 or X sub 1 and Y sub 1. We put a little 1 next to it at the bottom. Okay, and that's just saying these are the X and the Y from the first point. So X1, Y1. So our next X and Y get 2's. X2, Y2. Okay, they're the X and Y from the second point. If you want to take out a colored pencil, or 2 colored pencils, you can. Or if you want to take 2 highlighters, I'm going to use yellow and orange. Probably should use yellow and red since I already used red today, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to color my first point yellow. And my second point orange. Now this will pop up, this distance formula will be on your MCA. In high school, when do you take your math MCA? What? Like what grade do you take it? The math MCA. No. 11th grade. Yep. So in high school, you only take MCAs once for each subject, and math is your 11th grade year. So this formula, you're going to see on your MCA, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, Miss Morrell told me that one time. I don't remember it. And that's okay. But it's a formula, so you're going to know how to plug in those points because it's telling you which numbers to put in. You just have to make sure you put them in the right spots. So we're going to say D equals, what does D stand for? Distance. And it's going to be a big square root. Okay, in the first one, parentheses, we're going to do y2 minus y1 parentheses squared. Okay, so my y2 was orange, and I'm subtracting it from y1, which is yellow. Okay, plus, and then we're going to do the same thing with the x's. So parenthesis x2 minus x1. Parentheses squared. I didn't get my square root long enough, so I'm going to extend that a little bit further. All right, we're going to do one example with this. Oh, I made it a little big. That's okay. See if you can sneak it in on that page there. And you're going to go ahead and glue that in. If you need to glue it on the page before or somewhere nearby, you can. Well, this is the next example, so wherever it fits. If you need to go to the next page, you can go to the next page. If you're running out of space, I really spread my stuff out. You guys are all like crunching your stuff together. Nice work, everybody. Gotcha. All right, so go ahead and glue that in. Find some space on your page. If you have no space left on your page, then go to the next page. Share that glue. There's 2 out of every table. There we go. Maybe about 15 more seconds. Okay, so for this one, Nadir, put your phone away. Hold on, put your phone away. Ahmed, put your phone away. Oh my goodness. So many phones. All right, for this one, the first thing we need to do is identify our points. We're going to identify what is G and what is M. We need to identify those X and Y coordinates. I'm writing it right here, but you could write it there if you want. It's your choice. All right, so G, first thing I would need to find is my X. It tells me right here this is my X axis down here, so I need to figure out what number it goes with on this number line. What number does G go with? -5. And then I'm still looking at G, this point here, but I need to figure out what it goes with on the Y number line, the Y axis. 1. Okay, take a second, see if you can get M here. So look along your X and then along your Y. All right, Sam, what did you get for your M? Good, 3 and then 4. Good, X comes first, so 3 and then 4. Okay, if you want to take a second, color code so it looks like our problem up there, you can. Okay, if it helps, you can label them. It goes X, Y, X, Y. So it always goes X and Y are represented in each one. And then the first point gets 1s. And the second point gets 2s. So now I'm going to say D equals, distance equals. I'm going to do a big square root. Okay, parenthesis. Anything that's here that's not the y's or the x's needs to remain to be in a formula. Okay, only these y's and x's get changed. Everything else, the minus, the squared, the plus, the parentheses, everything else should stay the same. So I'm going to start with the y2. What is my y2? 4 minus, what's my y1? 1, just 1. Okay, and then it goes parenthesis, squared, plus, and then we have another parenthesis. Now it goes x2. Which number is my x2? 3 minus my x1, negative 5. If you want to put negative 5 in another set of parentheses, you can, or just make it really obvious that there's a minus and a negative. Okay, and then you have to be really careful because you kind of get distracted during this part. What's the last step I need here? I got the parenthesis. The squared. Okay, and then at this point, when you do this on your practice, you're going to open up the Desmos calculator. What's nice about Desmos is as you type it in, you can see it. So if you make a mistake, you can just delete the part that you made a mistake on. So we're going to start with square root. We don't do the D equals in our calculator. So we just start with square root. It's right here, just the regular one. Okay, parenthesis, 4 minus 1, parenthesis, and then there's a squared. So that's this A2 button. Plus, parenthesis, 3 minus negative 5, parentheses, squared. Now I have mine zoomed. Look, I can hit the undo button. I thought I was going to have to type that all in again. Okay, I have mine zoomed in so you can see it, everything that I typed in, but when I zoom out, you can see it's all there. If I made a mistake, I can just click into it and fix the one that I need to fix. Today we're going to round to the nearest tenth, so just one number after the decimal. So when I round this, do I want to stay at 8.5, 8 and 5/10, or do I want to round it to 8 and 6/10? What tells me to stay at 8.5? Good, the next number. The next number after the 5 is a 4. Okay, another way you can think of it is 54 closer to 50 or 60? 50, so we keep it at the 5 for 50. Okay, so if rounding never made sense to you, this is not a test about rounding. We're not even doing a test. This is not a practice about rounding. If you need help with rounding, call me over. We'll talk about it. Okay, but it'd be 8.5 what? Units. Okay, sorry, I thought notes were going to be a little shorter than normal, and they ended up being kind of